Hi, Physiology Lab students. Today, we're going to do the Muscle Physiology Lab. So I'm going to share the screen and we're going to get started. Okay. So the lab handout for the Muscle Physiology Lab involves 3 experiments. The first experiment is we're going to compare grip strength comparison between your non-dominant hand and your dominant hand. And so for me, my non-dominant hand will be my left and my right will be my dominant. So I'm going to use Logger Pro software to record force generated when I squeeze this muscle dynamometer. That's what it's called, believe it or not. And so first, I'm going to go to Logger Pro. And this is what it looks like. And I've set my recording duration from 0 to 10 seconds. All right. And so first I'm going to grip the dynamometer with this hand, and then I'm going to hit collect, and it will automatically stop after 10 seconds. So let's begin. Okay, to calculate my mean force, which is what I'm going to record, I click and drag and highlight the entire section, and I go up to the statistics button, which I'm looking for, and I don't know where it is, so I'm waiting for it to tell me. Curve, maybe it's this, integral, statistics, there it is. Okay, so my mean force for my left hand, my non-dominant hand, was 122.5. Okay, I'm going to make a note someplace of that. Okay, now I'm going to repeat the experiment with my dominant hand. All right, so I'm just going to hit collect, and it should just erase and continue over. Yep, then hit collect. There we go. You know, this is my non-dominant hand I'm trying to use. I don't think it's doing it, so I'm going to stop, get rid of this, hit collect. There we go. All right. Okay. All right, so since it's still collected, I should be able to hit the statistics button. 154 for 154.5 for my right hand. All right, so that's one experiment. All right, now what we're going to do is that information has been written down. Let's write it down here. Okay. 154.5 for right and then the left. Okay. Now we're going to do another experiment where we're going to do pinch strength test, looking at the strength of the index finger, the middle finger, I'm not giving you the finger, the ring finger, and then the pinky finger. And I'm going to pinch it like this. So I'm going to hit collect. I'm going to do it with my dominant hand. Okay. Also for the 10 seconds. Okay. It says for my index finger, it is 63.4. I'll just round it up. The middle, ring, and pinky. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that experiment now with my middle finger. There we go. Okay, 31.7. Okay. Now I'm going to repeat it with my ring finger. Ooh, 31.9. That was a little stronger. And now the pinky finger. I don't expect much from the pinky finger. I don't know about you. Yeah. That's pretty pathetic. Okay, let's see what that is. Probably in the 20, maybe 10. 18. Okay, 18. We'll round it up to 0.5. Okay, So now what I have to do is I'm going to have to change my duration of data collection to 100 seconds because I'm going to look at a continuous grip over time to watch muscle fatigue. And so let's change data collection to 100 seconds. Okay, I'm going to get rid of this because it's annoying. Now with my dominant hand, I'm going to hold this for 100 seconds, and that's going to take some time. So let's begin. Okay. It's amazing how long 100 seconds is. Okay, that's just the first interval. Might as well have a little sip of soda while I'm waiting. Gotta stay hydrated. So what's going to happen at time 80? I'm obviously experiencing some muscle fatigue. You could see the line going down, and I'm squeezing it. But at time 80, I'm going to try and really get a little extra juice going and try and see if I can get that to go up. Now, in lab, what would have happened is a partner would have encouraged the subject by cheerleading, okay? But I don't have a cheerleader for me today, so I'm going to try and do it myself. All right, gotta really squeeze it. Gotta really get it going. I'm going to pretend I'm hanging off a cliff, and if I let go, I'm going to fall. So I'm going to give myself some mental encouragement here to just see if I can get that to go up high. All right, we're getting there, almost there. I'm not going to quit. Not going to quit. Yeah. Look at that line go up. Okay, whoo. What I'm feeling is lactic acid buildup from fatigued flexor muscles in my hand. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to do intervals. I'm going to record my mean force from 0 to 20, 20 to 40, 40 to 80, and then, 40 to 60, 60 to 80, and then 80 to 100, where I hope that force went up. Okay, so click and drag, 0, well, a little bit better than that, 0 to 20, and my mean force is 114. My forearm is so sore, I'm having a hard time writing it down. Okay, and then we'll click from 20 to 40, and that went down to 84. Okay, 84.2. And then it went from 40 to 60, and that mean force is, still going down, 66.9. 66.9. Okay, I bet my 60 to 80 is going to be pretty poor. God, my hand is shaking just from the effort from that experiment. Okay, we went down to 56.4. Okay, now, be interesting to see what the last interval says when I encouraged myself. 145. Wow, that was the greatest force of all. 145.3. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize out of this, and I am going to go to, I'm done with Blogger Pro, so I'm going to close that program. No. I'm going to close the web. Okay, so I'm going to show you the class data in just a moment here. I got to pull it up. This is what I emailed the students for Tuesday's lab. Okay, sent. Just bear with me. And there we go. Okay, I'm going to open up this and have you look at the class data from today. All right. Uh-oh. The wrong one. Just a moment. I'm going to pause. Okay, I found the data. It took me a moment to find it, but here we go. Okay, so this is what our class data looks like. This is the raw data. Let's move this out of the way. Here we go. So we're going to make this a little bit bigger for you. So this was the class data that we took. Just like I performed it, every student in the class performed it. This was comparing the dominant versus the non-dominant grip strength. This was the pinch test between index, middle, and dominant ring and pinky finger. And then over here in yellow is the continuous grip. All right, so I ran statistical tests on it. I t-tested the dominant versus non-dominant hand, and it was significant. I also did another statistical test called an ANOVA test on the pinch data, and then I did a pairwise t-test comparing each column left and right. I've got a t-test here, and then here and here, I've got a t-test here. Here and here, I've got a t-test here, and then here and here, a t-test here. So here's what the data says. So for the dominant versus the non-dominant hand, the t-test was significant, so the different letters indicate significantly different means. For the ANOVA test, I found that the index and the middle finger were equally strong. The ring finger was a little weaker, and then the pinky finger was weakest of all. Now, interestingly, when I did the ANOVA, I found that force went down pretty consistently from the 0 to 20, and then the 20 to 40, and then it went down again 40 to 60. Okay, now in the class, when we were 60 to 80, those two means were pretty similar. But when the class went from 80 to 100, when the students were encouraging the subject to squeeze harder, the force did significantly go up. In fact, it was as high as the 20 to 40 second interval. So that worked. Okay, so now you've done the muscle physiology lab and you've looked at the data. So consider that having been the participation in our lab. Okay, thanks for participating in the lab.